Hello, Cecilia. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm always
Got our
excited.
hand. Go
I'm
ahead.
always excited to see so many people joining us and from different locations, right? It always makes me think, what is a new destination that I would want to travel to? Do you have a bucket list like that of places you want to go to?
Mm, this is going to sound really arrogant because it's not my intent, I promise. But I have met so many people from the community that I actually have friends all over the world that when I think about traveling, I'm like, who's where? So I can travel, either stay with them or have like a quick meal with them or get like some insider tips of like not to do the full tourist trap thing, but like if I wanted to be a nice local and respectful of the culture, like where should I go? What should I appreciate? So my bucket list is usually visiting my friends.
But that's interesting. That's a good problem to have in some sense that you know people wherever you go. You have them to ask questions. You have them to give you all of the recommendations, right? That sounds nice.
Exactly.
Sweet. I see that we have a lot of people in the chat telling us where they're from. Hello, 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 everyone. Cecilia, since we're going to kick off Open Source Week, do you have any open source related thoughts to share, or maybe a cool open source tool that you've used in the recent past that you want to give a shout out?
Oh, I wish you'd asked me this earlier so I could have prepared because I'm like, oh, what have I used recently? Um, I actually don't have one right now off the top of my head. It is kind of early right now. I've been sleeping late. Let's come back to that question, and maybe somebody from chat can tell us what they are interested in or like some cool thoughts, and we'll go from there.
I completely forgot it's very early in the morning for you. It's evening for me, so I'm in that energy where my brain is functioning, and I got enough coffee for the day, so I know what to speak of.
Yeah, I'm not
Nice.
there yet.
That happened. Well, how about we kick this off and start with some introductions?
Absolutely. In the meantime, I'm going to post that check-in link so that your folks can check in if they haven't already.
Let's go for it. If we have not met yet, my name is Siddharth. I work as a first party events coordinator at Major League Hacking, which means that I get to work on all of our digital events that you've probably gone to. Global Hack Week is one of them. If you've ever participated in our digital hackathon, those also are events that I get to work on. And a fun fact about myself is I'm an open source enthusiast. I really love the open source community. I really love the value of giving back to the community. That made me even more excited to come back here and do opening ceremony, of course, with Cecilia, who makes it even more nice to be pairing with. But Cecilia, do you want to also introduce yourself to them?
Absolutely. So I am a coach at Major League Hacking, so I'm often found at events across the US and Canada. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm realizing that after all these streams that we've done together, Siddharth, usually I'm the like, oh, here's a cool thing. I think this is your stream. I think this is your time to shine about your enthusiasm about it because I actually don't have as much open source experience. Um, I'm looking forward to taking a back seat this time. But as for my fun fact, I love reading and I would happily take any book recs. I know last time when we closed off API week, I think there was a last question about a book that I'd recommend. Um, I'm trying to remember the last thing I read, and I was like, I gotta remember this. We'll come back to that one too. But if anybody wants to have a book rec, post in chat, or if they want to give me book recs, I am looking for books to read. I am preparing for my summer of not paying attention to the world and reading and enjoying that. But yeah,
Sounds like a good plan to me.
thank you.
All right, let's dive in. We want to tell you a lot about things during the stream. Don't worry about taking notes. This is going to be available on our YouTube for you to go and watch. But if you have any questions that come across when we are going through all of these slides, make sure to give it to us in the chat. We'll also have a dedicated Q&A towards the very end of the stream. So hold on to your question maybe for a little bit until we get there so we know what questions you have and we can go through all of them together. But before we get there, Global Hack Weeks are organized by Major League Hacking. But I'm sure a lot of you here may be going to their first Major League Hacking event. And I think it's only fair if we tell you about us a little bit and then take this forward from there. We run the Global Hacker community, and it's our mission to empower hackers just like all of you. And we do this by supporting hackathons, workshops, internship alternatives, and so much more. And by being at this event, you are now joining a community of over 1 million hackers. Yes, 6 zeros, you counted that correct. And all of them just like you. If this is your first Global Hack Week, we want to give you a warm welcome. But if you are a regular at Global Hack Weeks, no, we've not forgotten you. We want to give you a really, really huge shout out for coming in here and giving us that energy that we always feel in the stream, on the stream, reading through the chat. Cecilia, do you want to tell us about what global hack weeks are?
Absolutely. I'm so excited. So, Global Hack Week is something that happens every month. And as you can see, it's a pretty global community. So, there's plenty of opportunities to meet new people across the world. But also, it's a chance to do something special that week. So, every week is a different theme. And this week's just happens to be Open Source Week. We do know it's definitely pretty early for Hacktober, but we did that on purpose. It's meant to really inspire you, give you the skill sets you need. So when it does come to Hacktober, which is the open source week that GitHub hosts, you are so ready. You've already done a little bit. Like the fear is hopefully a lot less. And so our goal is to make sure that we can connect you with the partners and resources to make you successful now and in the future. And so first up, we have GitHub, who's hosting a workshop at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. They also have the GitHub Student Developer Pack, which I am an unabashed fan of. I am sad that I'm graduating because that means I lose all these amazing opportunities. There are so many resources and software and partners that GitHub has to basically help you try out all the things you could possibly find on what kind of developer you want to be. And they also have some beginner-friendly challenges. Then we have Figma. And if you're looking to get into design or you're struggling to figure out how to get started, Figma is a great place to start. They have a workshop at 12 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Eastern, that's a typo, at 1 p.m. IST, I think, tomorrow. And you can also sign up for the Figma education account, get access to dev mode, which our presenter will tell you more about tomorrow. And they also have design challenges for you. Then we have MongoDB, which if you are just getting into databases or are super experienced, this is a great chance to start blending that into your work. It's fantastic for every kind of level of project. Again, lots of beginner-friendly technical challenges, but if you're not sure or you're like curious what it is, then there's going to be a workshop at 11 a.m. Eastern today and another one at 10 a.m. Eastern on Monday. And you can always check those videos on YouTube in case you can't make it, so don't stress. But the point is, our partners are here to help you and give you tons of resources. Go ahead and keep going for us, Siddharth.
Of course. And we want you to be really successful this week. And however it means to you to be successful by trying out these tools, by maybe making new friends or trying out new things, picking up a new skill, right? And to be able to do that, I want to talk about some logistics here and make sure that you are completely checking. So this is also going to be important for you to earn points and earn swag. We'll talk about swag and points a little bit, but let's talk about the logistics. The first thing that you need to do is to check into the main event, and you can do that by visiting this link that I'm going to drop in the chat for you as well. Should be in any minute.
There you go.
Go to this link right now and make sure that you're registered and check in. The way that I'd make sure if I've completely checked in is by going to this page first, look for a button that should be in a shade of blue right now and should say register. Once you click on it, it should turn to a greenish shade and should say that you're completely checked in. Make sure that the page says that you're completely checked in. But we also want you to check into each live stream that you attend. If you remember, Cecilia dropped a link for you in the chat. Cecilia, if you can drop that again for
Absolutely. Let me make sure it's in. Oh, I was prepared to give you that link and I got distracted. I got it.
That's okay. But you're going to find a similar link for each live stream that you go to. And in case the streamers forget to share it, go ask for it because that's also going to get you some points. And we'll tell you how those points are going to add up and get you swag later on. Talking of swag, we are here at the swag thing. Cecilia, do you want to tell them how swag can be earned?
Ooh, most definitely. So if you want some digital swag, all you have to do is post on social media with the Global Hack Week frame found at that link that Siddharth shared earlier and tag us in it. And you can, I'm pretty sure, find us. I think we're all like Major League or ML Hacks online. I'm like, I know there's like two different ones that we use, but the point is we have lots of social media. So depending on your platform, feel free to tag us. Let us know how great of a time you're having. Tell us what you learned, all sorts of fun stories. We know that we are instrumental in your pivotal journey that you're having, and we'd love to be acknowledged for it, but we also want to be there to celebrate with you. And how else can we do that if you don't tell us? So make sure that you tag us using that GHW frame. Can confirm it's very cute. I'm a big fan. But as far as other kinds of swag, there's a lot more. If you register and check in to the overall Global Hack Week, found at that link that I shared earlier, if you submit an address at mlhlink/address, and you complete the featured challenges on our challenges page, you will earn basic swag, which is our theme stickers for this week. And I do believe we have new stickers every year. So they're basically NFTs, Pokemon badges. So all you have to do is just show up, which we love. We know that sometimes things can be difficult, so do your best. We're super flexible about things. Let us know if you're having issues, all that kind of stuff. But if you attend 5 or more live events, such as this one, you can earn some bonus swag, which honestly, worth it. But again, we know that you can't always attend. We're happy to work with you. Just let us know. But we would really love to see the people who are presenting get the same love that you're giving us today. And that's why we try to incentivize you to earn some bonus swag, but also as a way to incentivize you to try new things. You might choose a workshop that's on and you're like, oh, I've never done this before. I don't know if I'll try it, but I'll listen in. And that's okay. You can participate at any level that you want, whether you're following along or just listening in the background, whatever works for you. We are super flexible because, again, this week is here for you. And we have some surprise prizes. I actually really like the alliteration on that. If you are a super active hacker throughout the week, this is actually new to me. So I think, Siddharth, you may need to give a little more because I'm like, what's the surprise? I don't know. But by being an active hacker, by being a great community member, upholding our code of conduct, as well as just making sure that, folks are having a good time, vibing with them, all those kinds of things, we love to see how active our community is, and we'd like to reward you for it. What better way to say, thanks so much for being an amazing community member by getting a surprise prize. Do you have anything to add to this? Because I'm curious now. Is there any hint you could give me?
Well, I think the crowd now understand that it's really a surprise because also you do not know what's going into it. So I think the best way for us to tell people of what surprise prizes are is by giving away a surprise prize right now. How about that?
That's a great idea. Ooh, I'll leave it to you to choose. I know we've had a lot of active folks in chat. I think you've probably been watching that while I've been going over this.
I know I've been reading through all of that. But let's think of a prompt and ask people to comment. I think we started off by asking to, I started off by asking you about your open source tool or favorite open source tool. How about we ask folks in the chat to tell us about an open source tool that they've used recently or one that they really love, and then we can pick a winner from there.
That's a great idea. It also gets the question off my back because I still don't have an answer.
We'll also give you some time to think of it, and we'll circle back to that when we go for Q&A. But for everybody in the chat, this is your time to tell us what your favorite open source project is. We will then scroll through all the responses and pick a winner randomly. Well, Cecilia, I'll let you do that. We'll just wait for 10 seconds to get everyone to catch up. And I know there can be a little bit of a delay. But once that's done, I'll ask you to close your eyes, scroll through the chat, and then click on one response, and then we'll declare.
Wow, closing my eyes too. Okay, all right. Now I'm like, I gotta not look at the chat, or I guess actually what I should do is not look at the chat and scroll through, and the one that I'm like, ooh, that's cool. Maybe that's the move.
Yes, we can do that. And I can see the chat exploding. So
yeah, I'm like, I need to not look. Like my monitor is up and there's a couple copies and I'm like, oh no. There are some very excited folks online.
Yes, we have enough responses here. Do you want to go scroll through and pick your winner?
Sure. I'll have you continue on then while I scroll through. These are, wow, y'all are still going. Okay, pause, time. It's time to stop. Good job. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of going to take a list of this so I can be, getting up with the times. We do have a lot of GitHub. I respect it. I do like this comment, but that's not going to be our winner.
Okay.
Very accurate. Let's see. Let's see. There are a lot of really cool ones. Y'all are making it hard to choose.
Do you want to maybe put a random chat to the screen?
I think it might be time. And I think I found mine because I do know this and I actually want to help promote them because cal.com is the reason I was able to schedule my interviews. They are a free version of basically Calendly, and I love them. There's so many integrations. There's so many cool things. I'm going to use that as my answer to your question too. But Sanjay India, congratulations.
And we'll tell you exactly how to claim your surprise prize. But for now, if you're still in the chat, take a screenshot of this image and we'll tell you how you can go around claiming that surprise prize. We'll give you a second to get that screenshot. I can see the chat still telling us all of their favorite.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through and I'm like, ooh, Pen Pod is also really good. I wish I kind of, if I'd seen that first, I would have also picked that. I would have also recommended, but
Of course.
I did see a lot of VLC, and I'm like, my old heart when I used to use Audacity for music and test it out on VLC. I don't make music anymore, though. I should go back to that.
You should, of course, and we can maybe use that as music here on StreamYard.
Oh, that's a good idea. Hmm. All right, they took their screenshot. We are good to go.
Cool. So the way you would claim your surprise prize is by opening a Discord ticket. And perfect transition here. We're going to talk about what Discord is and help you do that. To maybe help you understand why Discord is important here, this is where all the fun and all the chatter is going to happen throughout this week. The link for it, I can hear Cecilia typing already, so I think it's probably going to be in the chat by now.
I'm using a quiet keyboard, I promise.
Well, that's your link. Discord.mlh.io is how you can get to the MLH community Discord server. Like I said, it's not just going to be for us to post announcements, but all of the mini events, the fun mini events that we're also going to talk about a little bit, all of that will be hosted and run inside of the Discord server. This is where all of our community members are, irrespective of them going to this Global Hack Week or not. Everybody who's been through any event or been to any event that has been in the MLH ecosystem, you will find everybody there. And it's really, really nice to see everybody coming together and build projects, even host watch parties. If I remember correctly, for API Week, when I was doing opening, someone sent me a screenshot and said, hey, we're all watching this together on a voice channel. And it was so cool to see. So all of that good stuff happens on Discord. Make sure you are in the channel or in the server. But when you're there, you need to also make sure that you have the relevant roles and have access to the channels that you need for this week. How do you do that? You look for a channel called Channels and Roles, or a section called Channels and Roles, which is going to be on the top left of your screen. Click on that. That'll open up a set of questions for you on the right. There's going to be one question specifically, which is going to ask you if you are going to Open Source Week. And right below that, you will see a button that says, yes, I am. Click on that, and you will have the roles that you need to get access to Global Hack Week related channels. The way I would make sure I have access to those channels is by looking for a channel that's called Open Source Week. If you have access to that, you have access to everything else that you're going to need for this week. But if in case you feel any problems, have any troubles, let us know in the chat. When we have a dedicated Q&A, we will definitely get you access to it. Speaking of support tickets, I'm sure you will have a lot of queries during this week. It can be general queries, technical queries. You may need help with solving challenges. But in general, my recommendation here would be to post on a general channel or an open source week related channel when you have questions related to a technical query or solving a challenge, because the community is far more knowledgeable than any of us MLHs can ever be. And they're super, super helpful and are always there to help you out throughout the week. So if there are any general queries, please post that on a general channel. But if you have a question for us directed to the MLH team, and that would require you to share any kind of personal data, which can be an email as an example, make sure that you open a support ticket. Where are you going to find that? On the left, wherever you see the list of channels, look for a section that's called Get Help. Right below that, you should see this channel called Support Tickets, and you should be able to figure out how to open that challenge. Our friend from earlier who got the surprise prize, this is your cue of going and claiming your surprise prize. What you need to do is open up a support ticket, send us that screenshot, tell us that you won a surprise prize, and one of us will be in the chat with you really soon to give you that and make note of that in our systems. And then we have a lot of challenges also happening throughout the week. Cecilia, do you want to tell us about that?
Absolutely. So we have challenges to keep you hacking. So maybe you don't have a project idea or you aren't really hackathon ready or feeling like that. This is a way to get you started. This is your chance to figure out how you might use a technology or just, like do the hello world prompt, get over that initial, like, what if I can't? These are meant to make it a little easier so that way you can go ahead and get started. So we have short coding problems or prompts, and we have design challenges. So depending on where you're at, your time, your capacity, you can pick one that best fits where you're at in your day. And if you'd like to check out the challenges dashboard, I'm going to go ahead and post it because I had that prepared. Go ahead and enjoy our new tool. Our tech team has put that together as of last Global Hack Week. So we definitely recommend, obviously, that's how you integrate with challenges. Basically, it is a way to get into the forums and save your progress. People love the new portal. We love to see it. But we do know that it just launched, so if you do happen to find bugs, report it on the Bug Reports channel on Discord. We do our best, but we are not perfect, and we do rely on the community to let us know. That doesn't mean go break it, just that if you happen to find something, let us know. And we do have to make sure that you know that challenges close on the 15th of May at 8 a.m. Eastern, which means the sooner you get things done, the better off you are. That's also where you'll find the feature challenges to get your bonus swag, and you'll be able to find some easy pick'ems, if you will, such as those short prompts or even some other extras that we have around to help you get a chance to, like I said, get involved with the community, try something new, make a small project. Or just say, I think I like this technology, and maybe you'll use it next Global Hack Week or next hackathon. So make sure to read the Daily Points email. That'll give you your summary of where you're at. If you're, again, finding something wrong, maybe there's not the right amount of points, definitely open a support ticket so we can help you out. That Daily Points email is there to help you make sure that you feel like you're good, that you're actually recognized for the work that you're doing, but also to tell you a little bit more about the day, which is a great way to segue into our live streams portion. Siddharth?
Of course. And when you're not working on challenges, because I know there's going to be a lot of challenges throughout the week, and you should not feel pressure to complete all of them. Global Hack Weeks are more of plan your own journey like events where we want you to have access to all the different streams, all the different topics, all the different things that we do throughout the week. But we don't want you to be in a pressure of solving every challenge out there, going to every live stream. We want you to select what fits your schedule the best, what fits your interest the best, and then go forward and plan your week accordingly. But speaking of live streams, we're going to have a lot of live streams like this one that you're watching right now, either on Twitch or on YouTube. And this is meant to be something where you go and learn and ask questions and interact with the streamer directly. This is going to be hosted, like I said, on Twitch and YouTube channels, which I'm sure you've already figured because you're watching us live right now. But specifically, something that I want to point out is if you feel the need to have closed captions available on the platform that you're watching, YouTube is a friend. YouTube is the friend that you should go to. You will have an access to turning that on and getting access to live closed captions. But talking of the streams, the challenges, and all of that, I think we now want to add up to that excitement by telling you what day one is going to look like. And I'm going to kick us off by introducing you to the first stream of Open Source Week, which will be run by, and I'm sure there's a lot of Rosendo fans in the chat. I want to give you a heads up and a little bit of a secret reveal here as well, that you're going to find plenty of Rosendo content this week. So if you're a fan of Rosendo, tell us in the chat. I'm sure he's also probably watching us somewhere or is in the backstage getting prepared for the next stream. But you're going to get to go to a stream with Rosendo, where Rosendo is going to walk us through MongoDB, a very beginner-friendly stream, where he's going to not just talk about MongoDB essentials of the one-on-one kind of stream, but he's also going to introduce you to what is called vector search. Why is this important? This is important because when you are a computer science student, I'm sure you've heard of databases, you work with databases, or you aspire to work with databases at some point, even if you are doing this as a student, or you're going to get into your professional journey real soon. This is an important skill to have. But if you are also planning to go to another hackathon real soon, this is one thing that you would need to learn because it helps you get past that trouble of setting up your database schema and all the complicated things that you would ideally have to get through when you set up your database, right? And if you happen to be at an MLH hackathon in the recent future, you may also see a MongoDB prize category running. So it's going to be a very good opportunity for you to ask those questions, get your doubts clarified, and be prepared to get into the next hackathon that you would want to go to. All this is happening at 11 a.m. Eastern, which is right after opening ceremony. That's going to be about 8:30 p.m. IST for folks in India.
Ooh, looks like it's back to back, Rosendo. Ooh, I think Rose pulling what I did a couple months ago. But Rosendo will be going over Figma to code. So if you want access to the Figma education pack, or you'd like to learn more about Figma, or even just get started in what you can do with Figma, join him right after his stream at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. IST. So that way you can get started with Figma, and you might even be able to complete those design challenges. Hint, hint.
Next up is going to be our friend Alberto walking us through this session on Git, and it's called, and I always find it really fun, which is Git good with Git. And I always mess up when I say that out loud as well, but I did not this time. I'm proud of myself. But this one's where you're going to discover how to make project changes, collaborate with other folks in the team who maybe are working on the same code base. If you've worked with GitHub, this is one where you would get to know how things work in the background and explore how things really are working in that black box that you may not be really taking care of going and visiting. So get to the stream with Alberto and understand all of those essentials, ask all of those questions, and get some clarity on how things work in the background. This is going to be happening at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 11:30 p.m. IST for folks in India.
Then we have Way leading a Tetris mini event. So we do have these activities so you can take a break because we totally understand that your brains need a moment to take a step away, and it's a great chance to meet some of our MLHers or even just again be very competitive at Tetris. There are some really good folks, but if you've never played Tetris before, it's also an opportunity to learn. It'll be 3 p.m. Eastern at 12:30 a.m. IST, and again, it is meant to take a break. Oh, apparently Way is super competitive. Always wins. I guess I don't think I want to be in that event because I'm not that great at Tetris. I'll let him continue to be a great winner.
And next up is Kari. If you've ever been to Kari's stream, you would have noticed that Kari does a lot of streams that's related to the domain of education. And this is going to be another one of her tracks where she's going to be getting along with you to create an open source edtech tool. I think this is going to be interesting for you to know how you're going to change things for learners and educators who are just like you, who go to the same school like you, and all of that, right? So go get together with Kari, learn the essentials of open source projects while you're building that edtech tool for the community around you. This is going to be happening at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be 2:30 a.m. IST for folks in India. And like we reminded you already, do not go to these streams if you think you will not be awake by that time. We want you to sleep. We want you to go to school. We want you to do everything else that you feel is important for you to get through the day. All of this will be available as a recording on our YouTube channel. So all you have to do is go to YouTube, search for Major League Hacking, and you will have all of that content available for you whenever you ask for it.
Then we have Alberto back and telling you how to make your projects open source. I know plenty of you have hackathon projects or personal projects that you're like, I would love other people to use this and contribute to it. So Alberto will join you at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. IST to tell you the best practices in creating an open source project. So if you're looking to be prepared for Hacktober, definitely check it out.
And then Alberto is back with another stream. And this is going to be a track where Alberto is kind of exploring the synergy between AI and open source. I know open source, all of you here love open source, which is why you decided to come to Global Hack Week, open source. And I'm sure because AI is a hype these days, and everybody in the hackathon community or every event that I go to, I see all of you building hacks that are on AI. This is a chance for you to understand how AI can play a crucial role in open source. This is an opportunity for you to understand what AI tools are available open source, how you can use AI to kind of kickstart your journey into open source contributions, and all of that good stuff. So make sure you go to the stream at 11 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be 8:30 a.m. IST.
Then we have UT with an open source color palette generator. Is this going to compete with Couleurs? I think I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know it has two O's, or OU or something. But join UT at 5 a.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. IST to build and contribute to an open source color palette generator. I'm actually kind of curious about this. I'm not willing to wake up at 5 a.m. Eastern though, so I guess I'll watch the recording.
You should definitely get some sleep.
I kind of need it.
And then UT is coming back for part two. That's going to be at 7 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. IST. Don't worry about going to both of those streams together. What UT usually does is he finishes the first stream as soon as possible and then allows everybody to take a break. And then you don't really start right after you have ended, but you have some break in between when you can come back and attend the part two. And if at all you have and I'm sure you have school to go to if it's at 7 a.m. Eastern, but if it's vacation season, feel free to come back and check out part two live. But again, everything is going to be available on YouTube. Go check that out.
Then we have Way with making better hacks faster with GitHub Copilot. So if you haven't used GitHub Copilot or you're looking for some tips and tricks, join Way at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. IST I do know we give this workshop every Global Hack Week, so it is always brand new, basically, because it's always a new coach. But if you find that you want more variety, you want further questions, there's always the recordings to check out. Or again, of course, if you miss it, go back to YouTube. But Wei definitely does a great job. Highly recommend. Hype him up, of course, because he always does a wonderful job.
Of course. And I'm going to take a couple of questions in the chat real quick because I saw them come back.
I got it.
Right. Oh, did you get it already?
I got the link.
You did?
I did. I posted it. I was
That's
ready.
right there. So we usually, when we do these live streams, we are competing with 404 in the chat. Hacker is super active in the chat. But I have a different competitor here to beat. That's going to be Cecilia for us today, and she's completely leading. But this is your link. If you're looking for the schedule, all of the schedule for the whole week is available there. And when you open that website, you're going to see times in your local time zone. So you don't need to be worried about, hey, what's it going to look like in my local time zone? But all of that is going to be in there. And another question that I wanted to quickly answer, I'm just going to scroll a little bit to check if I can find it there. With the speed that all of the chat is coming in, I think I lost it. But I think this is about, sorry, go on.
Well, what was it? Was it the beginner friendly one?
I think this is about forming teams.
I will go look while you.
Yes, but I'll answer the question directly. You definitely can form teams and work together on challenges, but on the challenges dashboard, you will not have a way to form teams and send a project as a team. So it's completely fine if you're all working on the same project, which will differ on the type of project as well. There you go. If I was working on a registration type challenge where it requires me to register to a partner technology, everybody in your team will have to do that separately. But if you're building a project, let's say it's about trying out an open source tool, you all can get together, maybe do that together as a single project. But all of you have to submit that to our dashboard separately to earn points. I hope that is clear now. But yeah, going quickly back and wrapping up what the schedule is going to look like for day one. Quinn is going to be around at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. IST for what we call as the Today in Global Hack Week stream. These streams are typically a recap of the previous day and also an introduction to what is going to happen the next day. So in this case, Quinn is going to be giving you a recap of what day one looked like and also telling you what the schedule for day two is going to be like. This is also a good opportunity for you to come on stream or talk to Quinn and make sure that you get your questions answered. You may be having questions about, hey, how do I check in? My check-in doesn't work, all of that stuff that probably we are not able to answer right now, the questions that you encounter later on. This is a way for you to come back every day at 12 p.m. Eastern, go to a Today in Global Hack Week stream and ask those questions to the streamers that you see in there. But while you go to all those streams and a lot of mini events throughout the week, we want you to come back and tell us how you like going to all of these streams. This not just helps us understand how the streamers have been delivering content, but it also tells us what you're really interested in going to and how we can improve as a team to deliver the best that we can to everybody who comes in and join. All you have to do is go to this link, that's mlh.link/Global Hack Week feedback. GHW is short for Global Hack Week. Go to this link. It's going to be a really short survey, which I don't think you will need more than 3 minutes to fill in. Just tell us what you see on that, what you see on the survey, answer all those questions, and help us make Global Hack Weeks even better for everybody coming in to join later. How about demos?
I think it's time. We do want a demo of our own to show off what we're looking for. So before we talk to how you might demo, I want to give a demo. I will not get fun stuff for this, but you might. So let's really quickly swap over, ignore the duplicates. But I have a Visual Studio Code set up. I've got a prompt already in here, and we're going to use Gemini to write us a quick little chat app, the new hello world of AI. So I'll go ahead and get it started. It took a little bit this morning, so it might take a bit. But as you can see, the prompt here is saying, give me a checklist of the tasks that you're going to do. So if you're working with AI and like you're new to coding or something, as you can see, it gave me a git ignore because I did tell it in that prompt to use good coding practices. And while normally I would absolutely agree with this, we're going to go ahead and reject it for right now because our goal is just how quickly can we spin up a chat app. But while I'm explaining this, if you're not familiar with AI, you're not familiar with what you're asking it to do, that checklist really helps So that way you can go ahead and Google things later, really make sure that you understand what's going on, even if the code is already written for you, because now you can start to use multiple resources to build your understanding. So right now it's installing some libraries for me because we are running this in Flask, so Python. It is going to take a little bit, and now it's writing my app.py file. And so if you are looking at documentation, it gives you a little more than just the average documentation file. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I'm really hoping that this is actually showing on screen. Yes, we are good. All right. No one, Siddharth has not told me that things are not working. So next up, it's writing our index.html because we do want this to look pretty, look nice, be engaging, more than just a sample terminal-based file. But that is a great place to start when you're always working with APIs, or you just want to say, hey, am I getting the data I need? So now that it's saved it, we want to continue and make sure that the virtual environment is running. So at this point it is, because I can go ahead and check right here on the bottom. I'll go ahead and roll this up a bit. We're going to go ahead and run the command because we want to test our work. And so far looks pretty good, no errors. Let's hop over to our localhost instance of Gemini. And so send a message, start chatting. Let's ask it, what's Global Hack Week? Let's see if it knows. All right. I didn't exactly tell it Global Hack Week. I wasn't great about that. So let's clarify. I meant Global Hack Week. I didn't realize there were other things besides Global Hack Week to use GHW. All right. But it looks like it was very quick. Telling us all sorts of things, like it was run by Major League Hacking, tells us what it's for. It's designed to introduce students to hackathons, coding, technology, regardless of their background, which is absolutely true. But what if I want you to try it? So we're going to go grab that last prompt where I'm going to let you try it out. And Starth is going to go ahead and share the link so that way you can try it once I get this up and running. And it needs to ask permission. I love that it's asking me. I wish I had said please a couple times in that prompt just in case of the overlords taking over, but it should be running. So let's go ahead and swap over to my instance, and we now see the same screen we started with. I'll go ahead and prove that it works. While there's that link, you should be able to access it too. You may introduce yourself to the first page that says are you sure you want to proceed? Yes, it's safe, we're good. Maybe you can tell us in chat what you asked Gemini and what it gave you back. But in the meantime, I'll ask it again. What's Global Hack Week? But we'll do it right this time. And it might be that if everybody's doing this, it might take a minute. Okay, so it gave me the same answer. I promise you saw that prompt. You can go back to the recording and see what it was. And I gave it no information about Global Hack Week. So this is actually live. But Siddharth, has anyone answered in chat about what they've asked Gemini?
Not yet. I think they're still catching up.
That's totally fair. We did speed through a demo in less than 3 minutes, which is some of the amazing things AI can do. And where you follow through is in reading the code and understanding what's going on, so that way you can make it that much better.
I have a question for you here from the chat.
Sure.
Someone's asking, what's root code?
Root code. Oh dear. That is actually a question I have not gotten, but I don't have a prepared answer for. Let me think. My understanding of root code is that it is a fork of something else we were using. I think it was Clyde. And so it's kind of a little bit like Cursor or some of the other vibe codey things but this time we're giving a prompt and we are using a Gemini API key and putting those two things together to generate code and files and resources that we need in order to make whatever it is our sample app is going to be. And so sometimes it has specialties in where it's better experienced, like giving us the hello world chat app means there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of resources. So this Gemini chat is going to work almost all of the time, as long as other things do not intercede, such as rate limiting or other API concerns. But the harder you get and the more specific needs you have, the more you have to start working in line and working with something. So that would be my explanation. Actually, Siddharth, I think you've done the demo once or twice. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, the way I would explain what root code is, firstly, it's an extension that's available on VS Code. And the way we are using it here is to be able to communicate with Gemini Gemini being the tool that's providing us the AI capabilities that we just demonstrated of being able to generate code, being able to generate code only through the prompts that we gave us. So it's more of an enabler for us to talk to Gemini, give us those prompts, have that conversation with Gemini, and be able to get what we wanted to achieve.
That's such a better answer. Why did you ask me?
That's completely fine. Cool. I think that's for the demo, and we have an answer at least for what they
Ooh,
were asking. This is a big
who
one.
is? Oh, wait, hang on. That's not. It's getting there.
So yes,
It's halfway there. There are some inaccuracies.
but that tells us that everybody was giving it a shot, which we really love to see.
That was cute. I didn't expect that question.
Of course. And that was an amazing demo by Cecilia, but I'm sure you all also may be equally excited to demo at one of these streams that we run, right? And we want to give you that opportunity, and we are inviting you to demo at Open Source Week. I talked to you about a Today in Global Hack Week stream, if you remember from a few slides earlier. We are inviting hackers, just like all of you in the chat today, to demo at one of the Today in Global Hack Week streams that will happen throughout the week. All you have to do is open up that link, which is mlh.link/GHW demo. The questions there will ask you of what project you're building this week. It can be a project that you're building based on the challenge prompts that we have for you this week, or it can be a completely different project that you feel like you would want to show off to the community and get some feedback on, or maybe you're looking for contributors because after all, this is Open Source Week, right? All you need to do is tell us about your project and about yourself on that survey. And if you're selected, we'll reach out to you and get you on the stream live. But in addition to that, we'll also have some open source maintainers coming into demo throughout the week. We're going to have a few of them come in on Monday, and we're going to probably keep that a secret for now, reveal some other details a little later. But this is your opportunity not just to have other people in the community, other hackers in the community come in and demo and share what they're building and learning, but also a chance for you to interact with open source maintainers, ask them questions of what it looks like to be a maintainer, how do they really manage projects that have thousands of contributors, right? All of that interesting stuff is what they're going to talk about. They're also going to tell you a little about the projects that they build themselves. So a lot of interesting things happening this week. Make sure you're staying tuned to all of the announcements that goes out on Discord. We will give you all of the insights on the surprises that we have for you this week. But on a serious note, Major League Hacking hackathons are a safe space for everyone. By being at this event, you are agreeing to abide by the MLH Code of Conduct. If you've not read it yet, I highly recommend you do so by visiting the link that's on your screen right now. The TLDR is to be respectful. Abuse and harassment are never tolerated at our events. At digital events, we specifically want to remind you that there's a person on the other side of the screen. Even if you mean it as a compliment, making any kind of comments on people's appearances is not the right thing to do. It can really make folks feel uncomfortable. We want all of you to have a really good event. If at all you ever speak or ever feel uncomfortable, please reach out to us on the email that you see on the screen or the phone number that's on the screen. You can also get back to us on Discord, and we'll always be there to help you out. But with that, I want to quickly thank all of our partners again for being around to give you all of the access to amazing resources that I know will not just help you right here during Global Hack Weeks or in the student journey, but there's so much more that you can do with all of them. And I know this has been an ask from a lot of design friends that we have in the chat and in the community that they wanted to try out a lot of design prompts, design resources as well. Figma is around this time for you to do all of that. So we try and make sure that there's a variety of tools that you can use. Also a reminder that for you to earn basic swag, you will have to complete the feature challenges that we talked about. And these feature challenges are going to be registration type challenges. All you'll have to do is register to these partner challenges or partner tools that we have. All that is available on the Global Hack Week website right now on the challenges dashboard. And it's honestly going to take you less time than how much it would need for us to wrap up the opening stream. So all you have to do is spend maybe 5 minutes doing that and get your hands on the basic swag that we talked about earlier. But I think with that, we are now at the official Q&A. Anything that you would want to add, Cecilia, before we jump into Q&A?
No, I'm busy scrolling for all the questions that we missed all the way at the top. I'm looking for our first questions in case those come back up.
And just as a heads up, Cecilia and I are going to be trying our best to scroll back in time and look for chat and all the questions that have come in. But we may not be able to scroll all the way up to the questions that you had. If in case we don't reach your questions, feel free to post it again. We're going to definitely keep a track on whatever is coming in new. But just a heads up, make sure that you post your questions or repost your questions if you feel we're not getting there.
I do see some book recs for me. Most
Nice.
people have read like the books that people have suggested. I'm like, I've read half of what you've suggested, which is pretty neat.
I think I'm more of a visual person, so I'm not into reading so much, so I can never beat you in that competition. Also, I think I'm losing every competition that I'm trying to compete in right now.
I had no idea you were trying to compete. Sidharth, don't do that to yourself. Like
I'm trying.
I'm really bad at
Mhm.
consuming media, so if that's helps any, I don't watch movies or TV shows. Uh, my ADHD is bad. So I tend to be like, oh, I'm paying attention for 30 seconds and then I'm gone.
Completely get
um,
it. I'm just trying to
um,
be sitting here while we look for other questions. Oh, where will we receive challenges? We're going to drop that link again in the chat for
I
you.
think this is how you win. You drop challenge all those links that people are asking for. I think this is your time to shine.
It is my time to shine indeed. That's the link. All you have to do is go there. You will find challenges as separate cards on that screen. Click on that. You will find more instructions and a form that you need to fill with whatever the question is asking you to do. It should be easy for you to figure out, but in case you have more questions, get back to us on the stream. If we are offline by the time you have questions, just come back to us on Discord and we will be there to help you out there.
We have another one where they're asking about not having an ID to get the the GitHub student pack. So there are multiple ways. I do believe there is a forum post that GitHub Campus Experts has posted to help folks make sure that they're good on what they need. I will go searching for that. But if you want to very quickly answer this question, where folks have been asking for a schedule, I know we've posted it a few times, but maybe there's one more. Well, I go find that forum post.
Yes. The other thing that you can do if you're no more a student and don't have access to the GitHub Student Developer Pack is to look for a challenge that says that you cannot sign up for Google Developer Pack. For all of the registration challenges, we know that there can be some limitations, or you may end up with any kind of technical trouble for them. And for all of those registration challenges, we have a separate challenge that's going to say cannot sign up to X, Y, and Z registration platform. Just go apply to that. That's how we know that you face some trouble of getting access to any of those tools, and we'll be happy to give you bonus points.
Siddharth, I just sent you the link for the GitHub stuff because I'm afraid if I post my message, it's going to scroll me all the way down, and I'm terrified of losing my place.
Cool. I will also share that for you.
All right, let's see what else we got.
But for whoever asked for the link to the schedule, that's where you're going to find it. Or the easy way out for you, I think, is going to ghw.mlh.io and find the schedule over there in the menu bar. You'll also find the challenges. You will find anything that you need for this week. And we also sent out an email to everybody who registered. So you will also have all of that information, all of the relevant links, all of the FAQs as an email. It should have hit your inboxes, I think, a few hours before the opening ceremony. So just scroll through that and look for an email from us. That should have everything that you're looking for.
I have a new question for you for a future Global Hack Week stream. 404 says that you need to ask people to put their favorite airplanes. What's the lore here? Is there lore? It seems like there's lore.
I think I forgot to tell you this, but everybody else in the chat and maybe other people in the MLH community would know that I really love airplanes. I'm a huge fan of aviation in
Oh,
general. Yes. So every time, or I think multiple times when 404 has been at an airport, 404 has been kind enough to send me pictures of an airplane and tell me what's happening in the city in the nearest airport. And that makes me really feel special about the fact that people really send things back and remember you for different things that you like. So that's about that. Put their favorite airplanes. I don't know how exactly they can do this, but maybe in the next Global Happy, we can have a challenge where we ask everybody to change their profile pictures to something airplanes, and then I can give them a bonus swag for it. You never know. We'll find out at the next Global Hack Week. But thank you so much for that suggestion.
that's funny. I had no idea. The more you know. That's really cool. I had no idea you liked planes.
And there's another AV geek here in the chat who says A350s are good. I completely agree. Sorry for that derailing a little bit, but
No, no,
yes,
I was
I,
like, "What's going on here? This isn't like Lettuce Gang. Like, this is new to me." All right, we have all of the folks who gave me lots of good open source recs. I
yeah.
wish I could read all those.
You want to take this question?
Sure. So for check-in, I don't actually believe it's necessary to sign up on Twitch.
That's
You only really have to make sure that you check in through MLHIO, which are those event links that we share when we post the announcement, or if you go ahead and find on the calendar through the Global Hack Week schedule that you can register ahead of time and then just go back and check in when the event starts. But no, you don't need to sign up through Twitch. You don't need to sign up through YouTube. Just make sure that you are actually registered for the event on Discord, so that way it's all validated.
perfect.
Let's see.
On the
I'm
next
still
question.
scrolling through open source. Y'all really went off. Chat popped. Here's a good one. When should we expect to receive swag? They participated in Global Hack Week Cloud, and they met all the swag requirements. I think you would actually know more about this process.
Yes, I can take that one. I think by Cloud Week, you were mentioning the one that happened in the month of March. Well, generally, shipping timelines can vary depending on where you're based, and because all of the shipment or the shipping process starts from the US, depending on how long or how far away you live from the US, it can take a little while. What I'd recommend doing is to go to Discord, and there's a channel called Shipping Questions FAQ or something like that, which should say shipping FAQs, that has a timeline and frequently asked questions related to shipping and shipments. You will have definitely find an answer to your question over there. If not, if you still have questions, just open up a ticket on Discord and put your query in there, and I'd be happy to go back and maybe try and investigate and tell you why maybe there's a delay in delivering your thing. But in general, it can take about 2 months for your shipment to be packed and shipped to where you are, depending on, of course, the region you are in and how far away it's going to be from the US.
And then I've got another one, unless you found a new question.
I did not. I'm still looking. Go for it.
Do we get any certificate of completion?
I can take that one. We do not give out certificates at our events. I think you may be looking for this as a way to prove that you participated at this event. Typically, when you register and check into these events, or even just the main event, you would get these automated emails from us that tell you that you've registered and successfully checked in. Most folks who have come to me with that question, we've recommended using that screenshot or that email as a way to prove that you went to this event. And of course, if you end up winning swag, that can be one way to show off that you really came here, and you can post about that on social media. But that's one way to do this.
And then we have folks asking if they can join later for the coding session. Well, we've answered that one. We haven't really talked about the notifying part. And I think this speaks to if you check it or if you register for an event, I believe you should be getting an email reminder. And if not, I know that through the Global Hack Week schedule, you can add things to your calendar. And that would be my recommendation, to make sure you have all the notifications you possibly want to make sure you attend. But after that, I mean, you can always set an alarm or set a reminder, or check in on the Discord, keep announcements on, because the Discord, all of our presenters will always make an announcement about 10-ish or so minutes before an event is about to happen. And you can always check in and see. I know there's lots of folks who also subscribe to the announcements channel. So that way, if you're looking for it in your own server, because I know that our server is extremely active, so there might be too many messages to keep up with. So you might also consider streaming those announcements to your Discord server. So that way, when you are looking for what's coming up next, they should be populating, because at least I've gotten feedback about making sure that things are published to our followers. So definitely lots of opportunity. If you're still having trouble, let us know on Discord, ask us in a support ticket, etc. We'll help get you settled.
Cool. And I have a question here that I want answered.
There you go. You're good.
So this is mostly about what exactly the stream is about, and I'm guessing a lot of you would have joined in after we did that initial explanation of what this is about. So I want to take about 10 seconds to explain what we were doing here. Cecilia and I, both of us here, were to kick off, or we're here to kind of run the opening ceremony for what we call as an open source week that's under Global Hack Week. I know that's too many terms altogether, but let me break it down for you. Global Hack Weeks, the one that you're at right now, is themed open source week. We run a Global Hack Week each month where you will have an opportunity to go to technical streams, workshops, mini events, and a way to also attempt challenges. These events are mainly for you to learn a new skill, network with folks all across the globe, and also a chance for you to try out some cool technologies that will really help you stand out of the crowd and be able to also interact with some folks from their full-time team and get that extra insight that you may not have on a daily basis, right? So that's what we were doing here. We'll be giving you all of the logistics that's involved here, but I would say don't worry about any of that. All you need to do is make sure that you keep an eye out on Discord on the Global Hack Week announcements channel. That's where folks will come back in and, like Cecilia said, notify you whenever they are going live or 10 minutes before they're going live. They'll have the links and everything relevant for you to go in there. The only other resource that I want to share with you is the website. You can maybe bookmark or type it down. This is ghw.mlh.io. When you go to that website, you're going to find the schedule, the challenges, and everything else that you would need for that. I hope that gives you a little bit of an understanding of what we were trying to do here. You can always go back and watch the recording as soon as we end the stream. The recording should be up in a couple of minutes, I think, at the max. You can go back and watch these recordings at your own time and understand what's happening. If you still have questions, get back to us on Discord or get back to the community on Discord. I know a lot of folks now who really have those answers bookmarked somewhere and they copy paste every time there's a question about, hey, what are global hack weeks? Hey, what do I do this week? So there's tons of people to help you out there.
To also add on, there were a couple of folks who are wrapping up their semesters. I know it's finals week for many people, or your final project week. And we know that this is a pretty active week. But again, as always, we're looking to make sure that you have the time that you want to have. So if it's like, I have a final, I can't make it, no worries. Just watch the stream on YouTube, watch it later. That's totally fine. Like, we are not like, you must attend. No, our goal is to be here as a resource when you're ready to use it. You're not required to do anything. But we do have, I think, probably one of our most common questions that I think may come up throughout the week. And I think that might be the last of our questions since I'm nearly to the end, at least in a summative format, which is, how do people who are not in school anymore participate with the absence of things like Figma and GitHub student packs?
I can take that one. So like I said, any things that you cannot sign up for, and that's a challenge. We also have a cannot sign up for the same technology also available as a challenge. And this is for us to kind of understand what was the reason why you did not, or were you're not able to sign up for that challenge. And every time someone fills that up, depending on the reasons that you give us on the form, of course, we award you bonus points, which will not have any disadvantage because you're not a student anymore. So just what you need to do is, whenever you're not able to do it, look for a cannot sign up for equivalent challenge to whatever you are signing up for or trying to sign up for, and that'd be a way for you to get access to that. If you are really enthusiastic about getting access to those tools, I don't think there's a way for you to do that directly because you're not a student anymore. But I think the Figma education pack may not be dependent so much on having access to being a student directly. But I can go back and ask the team and get you an answer. If you maybe can create a Discord ticket for us, I can go back to the question again, ask the team, and then get back to you on Discord. And I'm realizing we are at time to end the stream and call over Mr. Rosendo to run the stream. I'm sure a lot of those Rosendo fans are waiting to have Rosendo come into the stream and talk to them about everything that he wants to introduce to the crowd. But any parting notes from you, Cecilia? I'm sure as this, I think, was your first official opening ceremony, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was. Yeah. After months of doing closing, I am officially part of opening. This is fun. I see why you like doing these.
Of course, a lot of fun, yes. Well, then I think there are no more questions for us. We should bid goodbye to the audience here and let Rosendo take over.
Great. See you. Enjoy the week.
Bye-bye.